Hey, welcome in.
Welcome to the Arrowhead Addict podcast.
We are here coming to you live.
Let me tell you, the dopamine, it's flowing.
I am damn excited.
We are so excited to be joining you guys tonight.
Oh! Well, how you doing, man? Patrick.
Will Sterling.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, two-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
He picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna
And we'll see you next week. But until then, as always, go Chiefs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kingdom's Queens podcast. I actually just wanted to start the show by saying there was some breaking news a few minutes ago that Jodi and I just saw in the NFL world, and that is the Colts owner, Jim Irsay, has sadly passed away at the young age of 65. And just really saddened by that news right before we started our show to see that. It's really devastating, and it said he just passed away in his sleep. So all of our best wishes go out to the Colts fans, his family, friends, all of that good stuff. And I know his family is going to carry on his legacy very well. I know his daughter's been doing an excellent job already behind him. So prayers up for the Irsay family and rest in peace. And I just wanted to start by saying that. But yeah, there's a lot to get into today on Kingdom's Queens. We're excited to be joining you guys. I'm your host, Lexi.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I am Jodi. Yes, condolences to the Colts Nation, as they say, and just everyone involved, because that is a very sad situation. I know he's been battling some sickness for the last few years, so it's kind of just sad to see that is the end result. But, you know, life, unfortunately. So, yes, so many things happened in the NFL world today as I'm over here just trying to catch up my personal life as well on what happened, because Lord in heaven. So as we know, there was like an owners meeting today, you could say. And they had a conversation about a whole bunch. Do we have the same shirt on?
Oh my God. Yes, we do.
Do we have the same shirt on?
That wasn't even planned. Look at us.
Clearly, I wasn't looking at the screen. It was the first shirt I could find, okay?
Same, yeah. No.
First shirt I could find. Shout out to Homage, by the way. Shout out to Homage for the shirts. So, so basically, all the NFL owners got today, and some other people too. It's not necessarily just owners. Sometimes there's players. Sometimes there's just like other people involved in the NFL. And they all got together today, and they wanted to vote on a few things that did not get passed in the last time they met, which was earlier this year, which is crazy because it's already the middle of May. I can't believe we're already there. But that happened. Some people got paid. Lots of things just kind of happened in the NFL in the last 7 days. So first of all, I kind of want to start with this. As we know, Mr. Brock Purdy finally got his big payday, which he was well deserved for that. So I know a lot of people are like, there's no way that Brock Purdy is going to get 50+ million a year. Why would he not get 50+ million a year? Exactly. He's been to the Super Bowl. Granted, he lost. He's been to the playoffs more than once. He is well deserving of this type of contract, especially if you're going to do it based off of what other guys in the top 10 right now are getting. So Brock Purdy, big payday, 5 years, $265 million, $181 million guaranteed, which is insane. I love the way that him and his lawyers kind of worked this contract out as well, because he definitely has a no trade clause in there, which means the Niners are stuck with him. They cannot get rid of him. And that's just really great to see. The Niners actually paid a lot of guys. They also paid Fred Warner, who is somebody who is also well deserving of a big payday. I wanted him to come be on the Chiefs for the longest, but
I know
he gets a 3 year, $63 million. $63 million, but 56.7 guaranteed, which is insane because that is more than 90% of the money of his contract that he got as full guarantee money. So, shout out to Brock Purdy, shout out to Fred Warner. I know that the Niners are kind of like in a retooling situation right now. So got rid of a lot of pieces, brought some pieces back, had a pretty decent draft, and really just trying to figure out like what that new foundation looks like for them. So shout out to Brock Purdy and to Fred Warner, because get paid, young man, get paid.
I mean, that's the thing, is like Brock Purdy has made a Super Bowl, and y'all want to discredit him for that. And he played very well in the Super Bowl on one of the biggest stages in the world. So I mean, shout out to him. I mean, Jalen Hurts got paid after he went to his first Super Bowl and lost too. So it's just kind of how it goes. That's the name of the game. And he's also not a bad quarterback. And the Niners were just riddled with injuries this last season. So there wasn't a lot. I mean, that team, it just wasn't a good season for them. But overall, he is deserving of it. Fred Warner is definitely deserving. He's one of my favorite players in the league that's not on the Chiefs. So, just a beast on the field, and well deserved for both of them. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it goes this year. I haven't had a chance to like really dive into the Niners schedule. I know that it's
a really easy schedule.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's not tough. I know that. I know they have a pretty decent schedule this year, so they should be able to. It can be worse than last year. I'll just say that. It cannot be worse than last year for them. So we'll see how that goes for them.
It shouldn't be.
It better not be, right?
Right.
More news. Our favorite Joe Thuney finally gets the 2-year extension that he deserves. I kind of like what they did here, because he originally went in there, I believe, with a 2-year deal, and they basically are giving him another 2-year deal on top of the one that he has. So I think his contract breaks down to a full 3 years now. But it's really just kind of like a restructure, which Joe Thuney deserves all of the money. Now, granted, he hasn't played a single snap for the Chicago Bears yet, but based off of what his production and what he did for the Chiefs for several years, the Patriots before that, but even just last year, him going back and forth from left tackle to left guard and seeing how he just had this like flexibility and just all this availability to be who he clearly can be. I
mean, I don't
for the Bears, so
I don't even think the Bears need to see him take a snap before they know he's worth the money. So
absolutely. And I'm actually, they better be glad that they did that, because what my thought process was, hey, maybe he goes there, maybe he does this little 2-year deal, maybe we can get him back after maybe like 1 year out and then pay him, but clearly not. They're locking him in. So it looks like he got $33 million guaranteed and 17.5. Oh, I don't know what this is saying. Per year?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2-year extension, 17.5 per year, but he got 33 million at signing. So well deserved. He deserves all the dollars. So excited for him. You know, that Bears offense is going to be something. I don't know if you guys kind of paid attention to the draft and just what their offseason has been like, but they definitely got Caleb Williams the weapons that he needs. So he kind of really does not have an excuse at all this year. They definitely also went out and worked on that offensive line too. He should be able to hold the ball a little bit longer. They already added in the pieces that they have. They got the running back. They just added Luther Burden. Like, they've done all of the things that they've done. They should have a really firing offense. Their offense should be firing on all cylinders this year. Their defense is, I feel like everybody's defense still has a little bit of opportunity besides the Eagles, but they definitely had a really good draft. Their GM did a very good job. I feel like if we're going to talk about the Bears for a second, there was the article that just came out from Caleb Williams' family, and they were talking about how, like, when he got drafted and he did not want to go to the Bears, and they called their lawyers and was like, do not put us on the Bears. That's not where we want to go. And I think that's actually just hilarious, but I also don't blame them, right? Like, I don't blame them one bit. And if you look at like what the Bears did for Caleb Williams in his first year, they did fail him. That offensive line was not good. He had some weapons, not enough weapons, and he really couldn't do the production that he needed to do.
I feel like he had a decent amount of weapons. I will say they didn't have the best.
But if your offensive line isn't holding you,
well, we all know what happens then. So
he's not Patrick Mahomes,
right? And even then, Mahomes, I mean, when it's a good D line, you don't have much of a chance. So
correct.
And then they didn't have much of a run game. Who did they drafted a good running back? I'm now forgetting. Hold on.
Shoot.
What? They drafted someone I like.
I can't remember off the top of my head because I really didn't pay too much attention to their draft. But the point is this season they have no reason for Caleb to not be productive.
Okay, never mind. It's someone different than I thought.
They have no reason to not have a successful season. And just so you guys know, which we'll get into that in a little bit, but they are one of our preseason games this year. They're the one home preseason game at Arrowhead. So very excited for that. Now, let's go ahead and kind of get into like some of the things that happened around the NFL. So again, we talked about this right when we opened up. You guys seen that they had meetings today and they were just trying to get things passed and not passed. So I think the biggest thing, which we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about right now, is the controversy of the push tush. Now, with that being said, while we're talking about guys that got paid, Nick Sirianni also got a contract yesterday or today, I don't know.
The day before, yeah.
Nick Sirianni also got paid from the Eagles, and I believe that he got like a 2-year extension. I don't know. I didn't really look at the details. I'm going to be very honest. I do not like Nick Sirianni, but does he deserve the payday?
I did not look at any of the details of that.
He absolutely deserves the payday. He took his team to the Super Bowl, and they won in the Super Bowl. So, yes, you got to go ahead and pay Nick Sirianni, right? So, he just got his payday. So when you look at it, there's a lot of guys on that team who got a whole bunch of money. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, they're paying their coaching staff. And if you remember,
another one I forgot to put in there was Derrick Henry got paid as well for the Ravens. He got like a two-year good extension. I want to say it's similar to what Saquon's making, not quite as much, but similar.
Good. Didn't even know it. So shout out to him because he deserved the money too. But the Eagles are paying a lot of their guys. They are probably the team that did not have the most holes at all going into this next football season. So they should be they should be the team that represents the NFC going into the Super Bowl for this upcoming season as well, because they brought a lot of people back. So they should not have any issues at all. They brought a lot of people back. So
they got rid of some of their defense, but most of their offense still. It's not a lot.
Not enough. And I will say this: they did lose Kellen Moore, right? So Kellen Moore did leave, and he went to the Saints. So that could be something that should make a difference for them. He took a head coaching job, so we'll see what maybe that offense is looking like without them. But I'm sure that they're going to still keep like a lot of the same things that Kellen Moore brought to that system. But tush push, So
everybody's favorite play.
The tush push is very interesting because one, who cares? Like, I think that was my first reaction. Like, nobody really gives a S if y'all keep the tush push or not. Like, okay, right?
That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm not really against banning. Like, I just don't care.
However,
I don't know.
As an Eagle hater, and after they embarrassed the H out of us in the Super Bowl, I want everything that they want to not happen.
Yeah, fair.
So that will be the reason why I was like, you know what?
Petty.
Let's go ahead and ban the tush push, guys. Let's do it.
Like, I would have been totally fine with it if they did.
I could,
but I don't think. I mean, in reality, they just do it better than everyone else because it genuinely is like a rugby scrum to me. And I wonder if a little bit of that comes from their offensive line, Jordan Mailata, who was a rugby player in Australia and now came to the Eagles. And he's on their offensive line. And I wonder if part of that, like why they're so good at it, is because of him. Like maybe he knows like a different kind of way to do the scrum and kind of coached up everyone to get that done. And that's why they've perfected it. I mean, the next closest team is probably the Bills, right? And even they don't have it totally down. Like the QB sneak isn't perfect. But the tush push, the Eagles just have it down. But the problem is that there's like no great way for a defense to stop it. Like I wish they were able to line up in the same formation as the offense, because then you'd have the same amount of bodies going at each other at the same force. Because we have some big, I mean, everyone has some big D-line guys. Like, I think that would be a good way to, like, I mean, you don't have to ban it, but maybe make it more fair to try and stop. That's the only thing I could think.
I don't know if I have a few things to say. So one, Jalen Hurts squats like 600 pounds.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. Two, Saquon Barkley's
That is crazy. That is
thighs are like as big as his abdomen. So, right. So those two things alone, like the fact that one, because they were already executing the tush push very well before Saquon Barkley even got there. Two, you bring this dude in as a monster who has no problem with literally just falling forward and getting 1 yard. So I had two things to say about it. Like, one, those two things alone, like, they shouldn't have a problem just because Jalen Hurts is a dog, Saquon Barkley is a monster. So they were going to get it anyway. Two, say they did say, okay, let's not do the push tush anymore, and we're going to abolish it, and we're no more tush push. If you think Jalen Hurts, and not you, y'all,
right.
If you think that Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley cannot get 1 yard, like, come on, y'all. Like, we already know that that's going to happen.
Right. Too. They were just going to go into the QB sneak anyway. So, like,
exactly.
You know.
Just going to do a QB sneak. And it's so funny because, you know, they were, what is your name? Jason Kelsey was talking about today how,
oh, yeah, they brought him in for
not like a, they were talking about how, like, he was like, the tush push is not like nearly as dangerous as y'all think it is. So the agenda that you guys are trying to push is for player safety, and that's not necessarily true. He was like, I'd rather do a push tush every single time versus doing all the other things that come along with it. So he was like, so the agenda that you guys are trying to push, saying that this is something that hurts player perspective, is not necessarily true. So I don't know, because I don't play football, and you're not going to see me on the offensive or the defensive line, but somebody who's been the king of the tush push for the last however many years, I think I'm gonna listen to what he has to say. But could he also be calling? I call cap at the same time.
Okay, so I want to call a little bit of cap because I feel like he's said on New Heights a few times
that literally while he was playing.
Yeah, while he was still playing, he's like, no, it's not that it hurt him. It's just that he's on the bottom of the pile. So he had like 10,000 pounds on top of him, and like,
oh man,
you know, so to hear him say that he would just want to go in and do the tush push every time, I'm like, Jason, you're that's a little BS. I call a little BS on that. I know you're trying to sell it so they don't ban it, and I do think bringing him in and their owner kind of going over everything and trying to sell everyone in the league on. So I think they definitely gained a few votes back in their place and probably saved it for themselves. So it was really smart to bring in Jason Kelsey. Everyone loves Jason Kelsey. He's Mr. Charisma. So yeah, that's what you get. And then Rob in the comments said, can you imagine Mahomes with the Eagles O-line? I dream of it daily, Rob, and it's beautiful. And I wish.
Like, I get it. We're all very much traumatized after last year's.
So traumatized.
Like,
I don't know when I'll be untraumatized.
We all need therapy. I get it. Like, it wasn't fun. But yeah, imagine Patrick Mahomes with Saquon Barkley. Like, we can even do simple things. Imagine with that type of run.
Imagine Patrick Mahomes with the Eagles O-line, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith, and a decent tight end in Dallas.
Great defense.
Are you kidding?
And the Georgia defense. Like, Georgia Bulldog defense. Like
we would have put up, if he was on that team, he would have put up 70 on the Chiefs. Like, it's just.
All I'm trying to say is the Eagles are absolutely printing money in the back. I don't know where they're getting all this money from to pay all these guys, because everybody's getting paid in that franchise. So it's not fair. But anyway,
I don't know. The cap does not exist for them. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. So in order to pass the tush push, they needed 24 total votes to pass. It didn't pass. So the teams that voted to keep it, so these are the people that voted, no, we want to keep the tush push. Eagles, of course, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Jags, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Titans. I thought the Bills did too.
No, they voted against it, which is hilarious because they use the play.
Josh Allen does it all the time.
So I'm not really understanding the correlation there, but whatever. McDermott even said, like, I think at the combine or I don't know where he said it, but he said earlier, he's like, yeah, I'm fine with banning it, even though we use it. I'm fine with it. I'm like, I'm not understanding the logic.
Weirdo.
Okay.
It's because the Chiefs didn't stop it. Just imagine if the roles were reversed and it was the Chiefs and everybody was wanting to ban the tush push because we do it against everybody. It would have been automatically passed.
It would have been
would have been like, hey, we don't want this.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Let's cry and let's ask for more rules to happen because we can't do it. So if we can't do it, no one can do it. And by we mean if Kansas City can do it and we can't do it, then nobody else can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. If the Chiefs were doing it that successfully, it'd be gone. So.
Absolutely not.
Whatever.
Surprised at the Buffalo Bills anyway. Moving on, so the tush push is still a thing. Okay. Next, the NFL is actually rolling out something very dope that I like a lot. They're introducing a new award this year, and it's called the Protector of the Year Award, which basically means honoring the best offensive lineman player. Which, as you know, and Jason Kelsey talks about this. You've heard different. I've heard Creed talk about this. About how like the offensive line guys don't ever really get much love.
They don't. They
out here putting their necks on the line for these running backs, these quarterbacks, everybody. And you don't really hear a lot of love for them. So I'm actually really glad that this is an award that they're going to start doing. I'm sure it's something that's going to be with NFL honors at the end of every single year. But I think this is great because those guys need love too. And I also think that this is something that can help them when it comes to contract negotiations as well.
That's
because
very true. Yes.
If you're even in the conversation, like if I'm one of the top 4 guys that's even in the category for top offensive lineman
nominated
of the year, I'm absolutely using that to go into my contract negotiation because numbers don't lie. So I actually love that that's something that they're doing.
I think it's fantastic. No, yeah, I love it. Like you said, it's like the O-line guys, they don't have any stats. They can't be like, oh, I was number 1 in receiving yards this year, or I was whatever it is, like they don't have, or like I was the most lockdown corner, or I got the most sacks. But they prevent sacks, and that should be worth something. So
absolutely,
I think the guys helping out the most and doing the most for their quarterback and their running backs and their team, I think they definitely deserve to be recognized. I'd love to see Creed win it eventually, or even like a Trey. If you were going to give it to a Chief, those 2 guys, I would. And honestly, if we would have had this last season, aside from the Super Bowl, I would have given it to Joe Thuney, hands down, because he showed that he could do everything for us. Again, forget about the Super Bowl. But aside from that, he did everything we asked of him and more. So would have given that to Joe Thuney last season for sure. But.
Yeah, I think this award is cool. I love it. I'm very hyped for it.
Love it.
Now, the next thing that they talked about today, as you guys know, maybe not, the Lions, NFC, they put together a proposal today that basically, not today, they put together a proposal that pretty much wanted to change the rankings of the AFC, NFC based on the number of wins that the team has in their division. Okay, so last year, for instance, when you look at, it was like a B. Sorry, almost ran. Last year, for instance, when you look at the NFC, especially the division that the Lions were in, the Lions were number 1. They had like 14 wins or something. And then the Vikings were number 2. They had like 13 wins. Like that whole entire division was a freaking powerhouse. Every single team in that division, you could not lose. And they literally were fighting for the number 1 seed all the way until week 18, until that very last playoff game. Like we were chilling. Our guys didn't have to play at all. They sat on the plane on the runway trying to get to Denver forever.
I forgot about that. Oh, she disappeared. Yeah, but so the Lions wanted this to be a thing. They proposed it, and then it was tabled today because everyone thought that was an idiotic idea. That I think it comes down to winning your division, and schedules are not made equally. So it doesn't really matter. Let's say, the NFC North is playing the NFC East and the AFC West. Well, that's a tough schedule. And then divisions are just not created equally. Schedules aren't created equally. It's hard to just be like, oh, well, you won your division, but the Vikings, they won 13 games and you only won 11. So it's not really fair for them to not have a home game and you to get a home game. whatever. I think it's silly. I think it would make divisions very pointless, and I was fully against that. So I'm glad to see that was tabled today because it just makes zero sense.
The fact that they thought that. So remember when we say people have audacity?
Mm-hmm.
That is the definition of audacity,
right? Because
the fact that you even thought that, you know what,
I don't
this
know,
isn't fair.
Like,
no. Win your division. Don't suck.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the division, your schedules aren't created equal. So like you're not playing the same teams that the NFC East are playing and the NFC whatever. Like
because the question is how does that break down when you have like a NFC South and the best team in the NFC South wins 6 games? They wouldn't even be in the ranking.
Right. So that
like they literally would not even make it to the playoffs.
Right.
So do you extend?
Yeah. Then do you just not even have a division? Like it
exactly.
It really just eliminates the point of division. And I think we're both division purists, and I think it's quite silly.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And now I get it. I said this to you earlier and I laughed at myself because I was just like, first of all, Lions, y'all been good for a year and a half. Okay. Like, calm down. Don't be trying to come in here and change rules because y'all finally starting to win some games. Okay. And you know how I feel about that. I feel like the Chiefs put the battery in their back in the first place because they beat us on banner night. And then ever since they beat us on banner night, they just started winning games. Like, what the heck? That's what the last 2 years has been like. So I'm like, no, Lions, you calm down. Okay. You calm down. You sit down and you go back in your corner. Stop asking for stuff. Get your play calling together. Stop going for 4th down. And do whatever you got to do to figure it out. So,
I do think that's interesting. Slothy says in the comments his own or his or her own proposal for determining division champ, that division ranking should only use division games, which is interesting because they do, like the Raiders are playing a 4th place schedule, right? So like the Chiefs have a very tough schedule in comparison to the rest, and so on and so forth, with all the division winners. So that would be interesting just to see like how many games you win just in your division. Like if the Chiefs, go 6-0, then obviously they win the division. That's not a bad idea either. I don't hate that.
But it still just depends solely on how many games are won throughout the rest of the 16 teams.
Yeah, it doesn't fully, I don't think it could fully work that way.
Because again, so say it's the same. I mean, say it's the NFC South where it's Saints, Tampa Bay, Falcons, Panthers, right? If it's that division, last year the best team only won like 9 games, and then the next best team won like 8. Everybody in the Lions division won at least 12. You know what I mean? So it's like, does that even are they even included at that point? Like, because then if you're going based off of that, then it's like, well, there's 3 teams in one division that each had 13 wins each. You know what I mean? Or they each had 12 wins each. So how does that work?
Right. Then
you have a division that didn't even get the 10. So
that's where it gets way too complicated.
Which is why they were like, it's a no.
Yeah.
Just say it's a no. Like that's way too, because if that's the case, then you do have to get rid of divisions and you're just going based off of the ranking order. And then if you're going to do that, you might as well bring a lottery in. You might as well bring the lottery in. You might as well just make us the NBA.
Yeah, just
give us a lottery at that point. And nobody has time for that.
No.
So, it looks like another rule that was passed today, onside kick. So last year was the first year that the NFL wanted to try something new with the onside kick rules. I get it, right? So they're trying to make all these adjustments because they want there to be a better return rate, and they want people to be able to score because they feel like kickoff is boring. They feel like kickoff is useless. So we need to do something to spice it up, right? So last year they created this. It still didn't exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The percentage did go up though. It did go up very small. And so now the new rule for the onside kick is you can do an onside kick at any time, but you have to declare before you're going to do the onside kick that you're doing the onside kick. It also now is going to be starting at
the 34.
The 34 instead of the 35. Okay.
Someone said it's like because it's more of a, I don't know, something of a chance if you recover it and you're 1 yard. I don't know. It's dumb. I'm like, it's 1 yard. It's 1 yard. If you recover it, so what? It's 1 yard less. That I don't know.
I just feel like
it's going to be interesting to see how teams handle this because apparently if you can do it at any point during the game, if you're down, I don't know.
But when would you do it besides kickoff? You can't do it on 3rd and 10.
Right. You can't just like do it. I don't think so.
How would you do it on 3rd and 10? Because at this point now you're bringing out your special teams. You're not running with the guys that you got.
I think it's more like on like, what is it? Like 4th and something? I don't know.
Oh, if it's like a 4th and long?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it on 4th and short.
No.
You would do it on 4th and long.
And that's why a lot of people are saying like they should just make it a 4th and 20 or whatever and try it that way instead of doing the stupid onside kick that like rarely works anyway.
The onside kick rule.
I'd be way more for seeing the 4th and 20 or 4th and 15. I'd be way more for that.
It has been the most confusing. Let's put our blinders on and throw something at it and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, it's gonna change again next year. Like it, because what basically last year happened, they didn't like it. Clearly, they didn't like whatever happened last year. So they changed it this year. They're still not gonna like it. So I can't wait to see what the revisions are gonna be for 2026, 2027.
Right.
Because it's not gonna stick. So sure, if you want to continue to I don't know.
We'll just see how it goes. I think it's going to be a learning curve for the whole league. So I don't think we know how
it was this year.
We don't know how to explain it perfectly yet because I don't think there's been enough said about it yet. And we're
not at training camp either. So
no, and I mean, even last year, I remember when we got to training camp and Dave Tobe was doing his like one of his opening pressers, and even he was like, with the changes last year, even he was like, we don't fully know. Like, I think it's going to be an adjustment. It's going to take a little while for everyone to fully grasp what they can't do. Because like you said, it's got to be like on kickoffs. That would make the most sense. But I guess it'd be on a kickoff during any point in the game, which is weird to me because like first quarter and you're down 7 points and you have a kickoff. Could you do an onside kick? Like I guess you could.
The level of I don't care about this rule is like through the roof because
we can definitely move on because I
just don't know how if it wasn't super beneficial last year, I don't think it's going to be that beneficial this year. So yeah,
we'll see. Well, yeah.
The Chiefs announced their preseason games for this year. Just like last year, 2 games on the road, 1 game home. No, we had 2 games at home last year in preseason.
Yeah, we did.
I just didn't go. I gave my
Lions and the Bears. Yep.
Yeah. So this year, 2 games on the road, 1 game at home, which cool beans. So, first preseason game of the season is August 9th, which is insane to think about because that's actually pretty soon. Well, it's May. That's like 3 months. That's pretty soon. May, June, July, August. That's pretty soon. Like that's soon. So first preseason game, 7 p.m. is gonna be against the Arizona Cardinals. That should be fun. I really liked their release video because it was.
They had
What's his name? Mac.
I can't think of it right now.
Something. Anyway, their release video was dope.
It was very good.
Somebody who plays on their offensive line. Y'all should go watch it. It was a time. It was a time. So yeah, excited to go to Arizona. We usually win there. It's preseason. We'll see how that goes. We probably won't see any starters, so you'll just see a whole bunch of the other guys.
Well, you usually see Mahomes in the first one at least. You're gonna see like a drive. You'll see a drive by Mahomes and crew. And
he's in year 9.
It's Andy Reid.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Preseason game number 2, August 15th. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stay awake. I probably am. This game is super late. Seattle at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever played a 9 p.m. game. So just add that new one to the list.
August 15th. That better be like a Friday or a Saturday.
It probably is. I think it's a Friday. Is it
That's
Friday?
the only way you're getting me to stay up.
So we have to go all the way to Seattle to like the tip top of the country, and then we have to play at 9 p.m. Where it's gonna feel like 11 p.m. for our guys.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough because they're gonna travel to Arizona and then travel back.
No, it'll be 7 p.m. So it'll feel like 9 p.m. for them. That's a late game.
That's a very late game. Thank God it's preseason. And then game 3, which is gonna be at home, versus Chicago Bears, 7 p.m. Why are all of our games night games?
I'm glad because it's so hot. Last year, I went to the Lions, our preseason game versus the Lions, and we sat on the side that's like blasted in the sun. And it was 100 degrees, and I couldn't even sit there. It was horrid. So bring on the night game.
Did I go to a preseason game last year?
Yeah, you went to the Lions one. We tailgated. We practiced.
Oh yeah. We had to practice tailgating. Yeah. That's right.
This is a quirk called. It's from Boulevard Brewery.
Oh,
wrong
podcast. Wrong podcast.
Hey, I can still drink it. They still sponsor us.
No, absolutely.
We love Boulevard. Shout out.
So yeah, thank you, Slothy, for telling me that the Chiefs play in prime time. I had no clue. Wow, I had no clue at all. But yeah, that game last year was brutal. It was definitely like 100+ degrees, and we just had to like practice preseason tailgating to get ready for week 1. So that was a good time.
That was
All right, so next, there has been some little buzz kind of happening like in the NFL world about the left tackle position. So like we all know, right? The intent was for Jaylon Moore to be the starting left tackle going into this season. Like we went out, gave him like a 2-year, $15 million deal, something like that. I don't know the numbers exactly off the top of my head, with the intentions of him coming in and being the starter for this year. And I was like, okay, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's affordable.
I mean, we were just scarred from the Super Bowl. So like to see that addition so early on, like Veach was not playing around.
Which he shouldn't, right?
And there was not a lot of great options. And while he didn't start a ton of games for San Francisco, he was very solid.
Absolutely.
Very solid starts. So
it can't be worse than last year.
No. The big debate, at least on like Chiefs Twitter, has been, okay, well, did we overpay for Jaylon Moore then? And
yes.
My thing is, hello, did you watch our offensive line last year? Because I don't know if you saw our depth at left tackle, but let's say, for one, we didn't know if Josh Simmons would fall to us in the draft. So that's one thing you have to go through. For two, let's say Josh Simmons, okay, we got him, right? Let's say, I'm going to knock on so much wood when I say this. Let's say he has an unimaginable injury. We're back to square one with Wanya Morris and Kingsley battling it out for left tackle again. So yes, I am very happy with paying Jaylon Moore. Not to mention, we can also get out of Juwan Taylor's contract for next. He's going to be done after this season. Then Jaylon Moore also has the upside of he's played right tackle, so you could move him over there. And then you have
totally fine with all of those things.
So I am so for paying.
I don't want to see Joshua Simmons this year. I don't want to see Josh Simmons this year. I don't want to see you.
Okay, do you want to touch on that rumor then?
So the rumor is ESPN report Adam Teicher. Y'all know who he is. If you follow the Chiefs, you know exactly who the heck he is. Reportedly, who's battling? Oh, he's not.
Apparently, I don't know what apparently Adam Teicher is saying that Josh Simmons they plan on Josh Simmons being the starter by week 1.
No, he better not be. I think that's cap. I think that's a smokescreen. So, one, I get that he cleared all his medicals and everything looks good and they're going to use him in training camp. I think all of those things are fantastic. Fantastic. But if Josh Simmons is supposed to be the future of the Chiefs, if he's supposed to be we want him out here for the next 4 to 6 years, why are we rushing him to play week 1 if he's back coming off of an injury? Now, granted, maybe he's 90%. Why rush him at 90%? Let him get 110% ready. You need to, one, have you played for Andy Reid before? That playbook isn't as easy. 2, Have you seen the schedule that we're going up against? We're going against a lot of great defenses this year. Why would we do anything to put him out there to tweak anything that could be happening? Again, we're also going to Brazil week 1. I don't want to see him anywhere near the field. You guys remember what happened last year when it was Eagles versus Packers?
Which is hilarious in hindsight.
Jordan Love got injured because of the field, right? So why would you put your number 1 tackle of the future out onto the field week 1? I love that he looks great, right? Ain't nobody seen him in a training camp yet. So he may look good at rookie camp, right? Like, yeah.
And he's not even, that's the thing, is he's not even doing much. And I know they're impressed with like his early stuff, but I'm like, and I understand that he had great film at Ohio State and I understand all of that, but yeah, for me, I'd like to see at least Jaylon start the first few games. Now, maybe Jaylon will start the first game overseas in Brazil. And then I have to imagine they have that Philly game in mind for week 2 for our home opener. Yeah, and I think they probably want Josh Simmons' confidence up for that in the case that he does have to go in.
Because if they do like Kingsley and they put him in and they think he's doing great, and then they're like, "Oh no, you're getting your ass whipped," and then they pull him out.
Yeah,
nobody has time for that.
I just think I am very excited about him. I'm excited to see how he does in training camp. I'm looking forward to all the battles, all that good stuff. But I think it's early to just say, oh yeah, they plan on him being the starter. Like, we haven't even seen him do anything yet. So
literally,
I think it's just a talking point to get Chiefs fans riled up and debating on something. And yeah, I also thought he retired. They had a whole retirement party for him last year. Andy Reid brought cheeseburgers, and I don't know why he hasn't yet, but he hasn't retired yet. So I think they're trying to find his replacement from what I've heard. But yeah.
Lord in heaven. Now, I will say I do love the fact that Jaylon does have the flexibility to go into right tackle, because we're not going to pay Juwan Taylor. This is his last year, Chiefs fans. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time with him. Enjoy your moments. He will not be on this team next season. So I will say I do love that. I do love that he's able to come in for an option. Now, I will say this too. Last season, Juwan Taylor did get banged up some, and he did come out. Could this be a situation to where maybe he has to switch over to right tackle, and then you maybe bring Josh Simmons in to play left tackle, and that's during the season? That could possibly happen. And if that's the case, then hey, I'm fine with that. See what the offensive line of the future looks like. There also could be a situation where, as we get later into the season, we have about 2 periods where there's a 4-day break in between games. Like, we have a game, and then it's 4 days later, and then we have a game. I think it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's in December, I think. Could that be a matter of maybe the guys don't have enough rest, and then we have to bring one of them in and maybe switch them there for that? That's another high possibility, right? So, again, these are all things that I'm totally fine with. But if there is no need to rush him to get him to come back because it may create like a setback for the future, we cannot afford that. You can't put yourself in a situation where you do have to keep Juwan Taylor next year because you got somebody hurt and you don't have anybody that can go in there and play. So
I will say, just overall, I'm just really, really happy about our depth at O-line and tackle, especially.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh. It was just, we all know how painful it was last season. So regardless, I just want the best man out there. I just want Patrick upright and time to throw. And if that's Simmons, great. If that's, but yeah, I'd like to see Jaylon Moore, but if Simmons is just far and away the better option, then fine, put him in. But we'll get there when we get there. It's only May. We don't really know yet. We haven't even gotten to OTAs yet, which those I think start next week. So
soon,
or really soon, maybe even this weekend, something like that. So we'll get some content then. Yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, we got a ways to go before I think saying, oh yeah, they're looking at him to be the starter. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, no,
we'll see.
I gotta calm down. I think the only other thing that's really left is actually no. So the biggest thing I think everybody is still waiting on is that Trey Smith deal. I do think that's probably going to be something that happens hopefully before training camp.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be like
It should.
I think it'll be, we know they're working. Veach said after the draft, they're going to be working on it. So I think probably June, July, something like that, I imagine.
Hopefully before training camp. And hopefully
right before the season. Would be great.
They need to figure out how to get Trent done still. Like, I know Trent is something that is not technically supposed to happen until next year, but if Trent goes out and has another outstanding season, he's going to make his way out of the cap. He's going to make his way out of the cap. So, I definitely still feel like Chiefs need to figure out a way to get both of those guys done before we get into week 1. And I do believe that it will happen. I definitely have faith in that, and I believe it'll happen. So I'm very hopeful for that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I wanted to talk about that the NFL kind of announced today was how Hard Knocks, they announced who's going to do Hard Knocks for this season, which is very exciting. I love Hard Knocks.
I do too. I love Hard Knocks.
I really like what they did last season, how they had one team and
then the division
in the off season, and then they did the blah, blah, blah.
and then they did and then they did the division in season. Yeah.
Yes. So correct me if I'm wrong. The off-season team this year is the Bills?
Correct.
But then they're doing their division?
No, they're doing just the Bills for training camp, and then they're doing the NFC East.
Oh, the NFC East, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
which will be fun because we play them, so we'll see some behind.
You realize that's exactly what happened last year, right? They did the AFC.
I do.
Yeah. Hard Knocks did the AFC North, and they played the Chiefs, and this year they're doing the NFC East.
It's a sneaky way of getting the Chiefs into your content.
We know. I told y'all this last week. Remember when I told y'all the Chiefs pay the bills of the NFL? I meant that.
Yeah,
I meant that. And
they do.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how the offseason goes for the Bills.
I actually I'm excited to see them on Hard Knocks because they had a good draft. They drafted a lot of defense. I don't think they've added a ton of weapons for Josh once again. So once again, it's going to be the Josh show. It's hard to say.
They got rid of Von Miller. He didn't come back.
Is he gone?
I think he's gone.
Okay.
I think he's a free agent.
So is he just chilling? Because he's
nobody's picked him up.
Interesting. I mean, they've only added Josh Palmer as a wide receiver. They have Shakir. They paid him, which he's good.
Very good.
They have their tight ends. I don't really know the depth that they have on the wide receiver.
Oh,
they have Keon Coleman.
They got rid
of Mac Hollins.
Yeah, he went to
Patriots.
The Bears, right?
No, the Patriots. Which is their
completely made that up off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
He went to a cold team. That's where he went. Yeah.
Well, Buffalo's cold. Buffalo's cold too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll definitely see what their off season is going to be about. They must have something spicy getting ready to happen that we don't know about.
Well, reigning MVP and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still gonna lose to Lamar Jackson
in week 1.
You're gonna beat us in a regular season. We're gonna beat you in the postseason. Okay, like fine.
We get it.
we get it. We get it. We over it. Anyway, so I think that's really all we got for today's show. Not really a lot of Chiefs news that happened. We'll probably start diving into next week. I would really like to talk about the AFC West, all of their schedules, all of their games, and seeing what that looks like. It's time to start breaking down the divisions again like we used to do. So in their schedule. So in ranking who we think will win their divisions or not. So other than that,
those are some fun off-season topics. And and then hopefully
there might be some more rules that get passed in the next day.
Right. There might be that, and then there might be some OTA content as well. So we should
can't wait
stuff for you guys next week. So tune back in with us. We love you, and thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yes, shout out to all of y'all for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here with us Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with Arrowhead Addict. If you are not, please make sure you go ahead and like this episode. If you are listening on YouTube, if you are on the X or the Twitter platform, whatever the young kids call it today, make sure you are retweeting this episode on Arrowhead Addict and on the Kingdom's Queens page on X and Twitter. Like this episode, go comment on this episode. And other than that, we will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you tap into the OG hour tomorrow. It's a great time. It's a great time.
Absolutely. They do a great job.
Other than that, we'll see y'all later.
Your queens have spoken. Goodbye.